It starts with the administration. Even though we are in 3 separate buildings, we come to kind of looking at the root cause. What is the issue of why our kids aren't growing? What are the needs of our students? And we kind of did hone in on explicit instruction, universal design for learning, even the structures of our special education classrooms and our inclusion practices. And then we figure out how best to implement that at each grade level. As we know, kindergarten through 5th grade needs it presented a different way and different ways to impact their learning. So we embed the instruction using the Striving Readers Grant. It was really what we really used to address the younger grades with the teachers' professional development, and it's ongoing. Then we look at the middle, what best services those teachers, but it's all streamlined with the same focus. And again, through the administrative team working cohesively, we plan our professional development together. We make sure that it all flows. We do some vertical discussions between the buildings to make sure that same instructional practices are benefiting the students. During the OIP and our DLT meetings, we share out and respond like, what's working? What did you implement? And then how can we do it in the other buildings? So it kind of builds on what Mr. Pirone said with that, starting with the administration, his expectation of us, him coming around with us, being actively involved in all the meetings, helps support the instructional practices. But we do kind of focus it in and tailor it to each building based on the teachers and what they need, but the underlying focus is the same.
As a central office staff, we can support in many different ways. Obviously, planning resources and funding for professional development, providing funding or substitutes for release time. So, a lot of times you go to professional development, but then what is the follow through with that? So providing the release time for teams to meet, for departments to meet, or for vertical alignment discussions. That's important. Besides providing those resources, I think there needs to be moral support from some central office to understanding what you're going through. We're not just throwing you in there and here you need to do this and implement it. So how can we provide the moral support to the teachers besides just the professional development and the time?
And we've actually started implementing and trying to get our teachers to showcase some of the stuff they're doing in their classroom. So when they come to the meeting, it's not just numbers we're looking at, we're actually looking at the different activities they've created for the students to implement and learn from. So the teachers are able to highlight some of their strengths and learn from each other. And I think it's really growing. A lot more teachers are sharing products, wanting to see what the other teachers are doing. And it's really highlighting some of their strengths as well. Through the cohesiveness and of the special education department and our regular education department, the universal design for learning has really been brought in to support the teachers being able to implement the changes with inclusivity. But we've also focused in on Marzano's strategies, Hattie's strategies. We've looked at which ones have the highest rate of improving student instruction, and we've tried to hone in on those. We've looked at, as I said, through the TBT process, if they're teaching fractions, maybe they find a specific strategy that works better for them, kinesthetic, visual. We do locate different strategies within the realm of Marzano's and Hattie that we've really educated our staff on as well. But the foundation is that explicit instruction in UDL.
And I would say it's the support of the teachers, again, through professional development, through staff meetings. You can walk into a classroom and see the examples in every classroom, so you know that it is being accepted and implemented in the classrooms. Cohesiveness is everybody that's on the same page for the same goal. And I think you build it by trust. The teachers, in order to be a cohesive unit, the teachers need to know that the administrators are also there. So if there's professional development that the teachers are doing, our administrators sit in the same professional development. It's not, here's something that the teacher needs, and as an administrator, I'm going to go in my office and work. And the same as myself. If there's a professional development as a superintendent, I'm sitting in there, right in there with the teachers, so that it shows we are a cohesive unit and there's not one role or one position that's more important than each other. And I think that trust is built over time with staff. Lucky we have an administrative team that has been around and has that trust from our teachers.